Okay, so at the moment we have these two clusters and zones set up, and we have these environments all ready to rock and roll. What that looks like inside Rancher looks like this. So you can see Apex, Frontier, and there's also Control. You can see the environment they belong to and the region, nice and simple. What we'd like to do though is we'd like to add Japan, which is called Deep Space, and it's located in Japan, and we're going to say that it's in AWS. So how do we do that? Good question. So to do this, we need to go into our main area here, and we can go into our zones, and we want to add one called Deep Space. Let's copy Frontier for now. I'll call it Deep Space like this. That's fine for now. Actually, no, we'll put a hyphen in there. Name Deep Space. It's a production. According to this image here. So we're just adding this one here, Deep Space. We're going to put in Japan and AWS. So AWS and Japan. Perfect. We don't need that. And this environment name comes from the environments that we've set up ourselves. So we've added a production and we've added a pre-production development environment. However, out of the box, you have these other two environments that also exist. As you saw, Control before, and there's another one called Engineering. For now though, we are just going to finish off this bit. So we're just going to save that file and check that guy in. So, oh, before we check it in, what I'd like to show is what this looks like. So inside here, there is nothing here that has Deep Space. We have Apex there, and we have Frontier here. So they're good. Let's see if we can check in the lab. Just checking that in the background. So just pushing it there. What we should be able to see then is if we go over to local, not local, over to here, we should see this Deep Space now is now being created. So it knows it wants this to be created, and if we refresh here, Deep Space has now been created here. If we have a look at it, you'll notice that the repo comes with some folders already inside it. So that means we can add basically clusters, databases, and any other sort of resources that we can build support for in the future and take control of. So let's go and see if it's try and sync. At the moment, it's saying that it's it'll okay. So that would just refresh. If I force those, that refresh. But for now, though, I'm just going to let that resolve itself. In the meantime, though, I'm gonna grab this repo. I'll do it off screen for a second, just be on the safe side. So just going to add clone repo, and we're going to type in Deep Space. Oh, I call it. Yeah, I call it Deep Space. Oh, there it goes. It's back. So let's clone that. There's some Visual Studio. Okay, so we want to add a cluster. The cluster is called Yoko. I've actually added the cluster to Rancher. I might not have done that. What I'm going to do is I'm just going to manually add it for now. Concept of this is not to add clusters here. It's just to take control of existing clusters with this CRD. To deploy them, you should utilize the CRDs provided by the cloud or by the cloud to control these. Let's just go confirm what we have. Bear me a second. So we don't have what we want is one called Yoko. So let's just add Yoko in there for now. I think I've got a fake Yoko setup? I do. Let's go add Yoko quickly. Oh, there we go. Let's just copy and paste that. Let's import this for a moment. So we're pretending that we are adding this via a CD folder. So at the moment then it is home, import existing, and then import. Let's create that. This will give us a key. Which I will register that with the cluster. This takes a moment, so this will probably be one of the longer videos in this series of previews. That's that. Let's just make sure I've got the file ready. So we have the Japan, that's done. We know that exists. We should also have this bit here. So let's get this ready. Let's do new file. And what we're going to call this is, so I copied and pasted that in there, which is fine. We'll move it out. So, oh no, sorry. The cluster file gives you some examples with the namespace being correct. So all we have to do then is just add a new file, and I'm just going to prefix it with Kubernetes, -yoko.yaml. Alright, perfect. Let's call up this guy. Let's that in there and change it to Yoko. Hopefully now Yoko has been registered. So you can see Yoko is there now. Perfect. So we'll go now and we will check in the Yoko change. And then what that will do is it'll add the environment correctly with the cluster. So if we go over here and go into that and then open up dev, we should be able to see zones, and we got the DSpace being Japan, AWS production environment, and then that should have also synced fully with our fleet. Interesting. I'll come back to this. Why would you not be found? I need to refresh it. Just give me a second. Oh, it's just had to refresh it. Okay, silly. And then that will then fully sync up with everything it needs to do. So DSpace is now syncing across the clusters, and that will go green. Perfect. Okay, so now we've got ourselves environments set up in the way that we want them.